So hello and welcome to the UCI BMX Racing World Cup from Santiago del Estero in Argentina. It's round 6, our final round of the 6-round series for 2025, the finale of some amazing racing, some great race action on what is a track that's proving exceptionally tricky at the moment. My name's Matt Payne. I'm here with Rich Eames. Rich, we've seen some great racing, some great race action. We've already seen some incidents in the 8th finals and in qualification here in round number 6. It's proving testing today.
Yeah, it's definitely proving testing here in Santiago del Estero. Riders getting involved early doors and just some of them struggling to get through.
Well, let's take a look at a little taste of what we have around us here at the track in Santiago del Estero. This city, 1,000 kilometers north of Buenos Aires, 150 kilometers from the Andes, on the subtropical flatlands before you reach those mountains. It has 250,000 inhabitants, so 250,000 people packing this amazing place, which really has got such a mix of cultures, of the modern, of the old, of the ancient world, all coming together here in and around this fantastic city that plays host to the final round of the BMX Racing World Cup. And we are right in the heart of that city here at the stadium here at Santiago del Estero. The weather has been, shall we say, changeable over the last 24 hours. We were here for round 5 in 33 degrees heat with 11 kilometre winds. It's gone up to 20, it's gusting to 40, and those kilometres an hour, that's a pretty fast wind speed, 25 miles an hour in Imperial, 26 degrees C, so it is warming up a little bit as the cloud breaks every now and then, Rich.
Yeah, and it's the temperature 26 degrees, it's almost perfect for BMX racing, you know, not too hot, not too cold. Like you say, a little bit breezy, but the riders will be able to, you know, account for that.
Well, great racing here at the track in Santiago del Estero. So let's take a look in a bit more detail.
Hola a todos, soy Fede Villegas, estamos acá en Santiago del Estero para la Copa del Mundo de BMX Racing. Vamos a hacer el preview de la pista. So here we are on the 8-meter hill, and you can see you have the global view of the track. You can see how they fit a big track on a kind of a small space of land. Then you have the big hill to start, around 60 an hour down there before that first jump. The first jump is key. You don't want to go that low because if you case it, you lose all the drive. Get on that first turn on the inside if you can. Out of the first turn, you come up very quick into this steep lip. It's one of the steepest concrete lips, I believe, in BMX for a second straight. So it definitely requires a lot of control for you to get that backside. So we're here on the second straight for the women's side. Very interesting second straight. The second jump on this straight is very challenging. And if you case this jump, all the flow is lost. And here we have the men's side for the second straight. Look at this lip, look how big it is. Very tall lip, and you got to control your bike very much. And look at the brakes, the brake marks we have here, because once you carry all this speed, sometimes you got to tap on these brakes. Man, it's impressive to look at it from here, and you can see why it's so hard, eh? So here we have the third jump for the men's pro side, and it's very interesting to see a step down. Then as well, you get into the second turn, any lines available. You can go inside, you can go through the middle, through the outside. So here we are onto the third straight for the men's side. You come out of the second straight very quick, and then you have these 3 gaps, and you got to be very precise on them. You got to be very precise on this landing in particular to get that next gap in. But yeah, these 3 gaps are going to be key for the race. You can see here how the future of the BMX in Argentina is working. We have a 1-year-old probably riding the track already. So yeah, it's very nice to have fun and look at all these kids ride. Here we have the last straight. As you can see, this table tour is very high. As you see, the finish line is right there, but you got to get this first jump well done first, and yeah, it's definitely a key factor to race. Gracias a todos por mirar, la verdad que estamos muy contentos de tener la Copa del Mundo en Argentina de vuelta. Vamos a Argentina.
Well, a massive thank you to Federica for that insight in there. And one of the key things for me here, Rich, is that second turn where we've seen that description of it being multi-line. And we do see a number of incidents, a number of runners being pushed wide there, whereas people do take the inside line, come in tight, and then end up running wide and squeezing out people who've maybe taken that wider line in the second turn.
Yeah, it's a classic 180-degree berm. You know, you can go and cover the inside, and then you'll have somebody who'll high-low you in the corner if they're close enough, and then if you drift a little bit wide, somebody dives underneath. So it's you know, there's lines to be taken, but yeah, you've got to make your choice and live with it.
Well, our winners of round 5 certainly had this track. They could definitely live with their results. The winner of the under-23 in round 5, Mathis Jacquet, taking away that win. A win for Arthur Pilard and for Saya Sakakibara. Sakakibara taking her first win. Michelle Vissing adding more wins to her total. So our riders who have had that track dialed in round 5, Vissing absolutely indomitable, really getting the track nailed. But we've seen such real great action here over the course of round 5, and already so far in round number 6, the riders. Is it a popular track with the riders? Because when we come here, that's going to make a difference, isn't it, Rich? When you are Sylvain Andre, Arthur Pilard and Cameron Wood. At the moment, Andre's leading this, but this is a track he's got memories of. Yeah,
he definitely has got memories. He's picked up a world title here, a World Cup title here, and he's looking to repeat.
Well, he needs to take that win to make sure of that. Arthur Pilard could take the win, but if Andre's in second place, well, they'll be tied on points, and it will go to Pilard with more wins. As we go into the elite women's, great racing, as we saw a win for Saya Sakakibara here. But in terms of the overall standings, it did mean that she extended her lead at the top of the series standings by courtesy of that win, but unbelievably, or believably, the very first win so far of 2025. She's chosen to do it the penultimate round, and the way that momentum goes, you wouldn't discount Saya Sakakibara from then repeating that and moving forward, given that we've got Sakakibara, Clayson, Smulders and Simpson all capable of taking away top spot. Sakakibara is going to be really relishing in the fact she took the win in round 5.
Yeah, she took the win in round number 5. She's been consistent all the way through the season. It's that consistency that's taken her to the top of the standings, and it might just take her to the overall title.
Well, let's see who's going to take that away. The final round, 500 points in the elite competition for a win, 165 points in the under-23 competition for a win. The under-23 competition, well and truly wrapped up. However, now when it comes to the elite, it is wide open, including one of our perennial riders, Laura Smulders, who is absolutely flying at the moment.
From the Netherlands, and we are in Argentina for the last 2 rounds of the World Cups. When we get to the last straight in the race, I'm either trying to keep my cool if I'm in first. Of course, the legs are going to be feeling heavy and you feel all these things and the emotions, but usually I'm pretty good at keeping it clean, so that's what I will do. But if I see someone in front of me, I always have that little bit of extra energy out of the last turn to pedal a little bit harder and try and pass them. Somehow I don't feel my legs as bad then. If I'm trying to chase someone down, gaining a position is always good, and if that's for the win, it's even better. I haven't felt my best the last 2 years. Still did a few good races, but overall I felt like there was way more in me. It just didn't come out in the races. I think the stress that comes with the Olympic Games and that cycle also didn't help me the last 2 years. I put a lot of pressure on myself. So I'm very happy that this year has gone a lot better and I'm feeling a lot more like myself again. I've changed coaches this winter. For me, it was important to change it up a little bit. Just having those little changes and just that excitement again of doing something different has helped me a lot. I feel like I'm in a pretty good place, very close to the podium, so I'm keen to just give it a crack and see how far I can go up to the podium. I like the World Cup scene, so being on that podium would mean a lot to me, and definitely kind of like a cherry on top after the last few seasons not really being at my best. I just want to prove again to myself that I'm still up there and I'm still part of that top group of girls. Yeah, I'm not going to stop anytime soon, so the next few years I'll also be hopefully on that podium.
Well, great to hear from Laura Smulders there, our rider who really has shown she's coming back. Great to see she changed those coaches, and often with a rider who's been around as long as the Laura Smulders has, it makes a difference, and we've seen her coming back to her best, taking a win in round 3, taking away 3rd place in the last round in round 5. So let's take a look back at round number 5.
Yeah, taking a look at round number 5, this was the men's under 23, heading down towards that turn. It was the best of round 5, just riders going down in that corner. Julian Schmidt, I think, was one of the riders who hit the deck, but out front it was Molina, Andre and Villegas going across that line. That was the elite riders there. Gonzalo Molina in the semi, taking the win from Sylvain Andre and Federico Villegas. And in the second of those semi-finals, we had Arthur Pilard of the USA, Cameron Wood of the USA right there next to him. And as they headed into the turn, those two riders were battling away. And just the Argentinian rider sliding out as they came out of that second corner. Meanwhile, no such problems for Arthur Pilard as he crossed the line, taking it from Cameron Wood. Eddie Clerté in that 3rd position. So the final took place. Arthur Pilard and Gonzalo Molina. That was Maurizio Molina Vergara lined up on the hill. Gonzalo Molina looking to repeat his famous victory here in 2019, but he had Arthur Pilard to deal with in the process. Gate dropped and the riders headed down the hill, and Pilard got himself and those rainbow stripes out front early doors into that turn. And everybody got bunched up behind him. Federico Villegas trying to work his way through, but disaster was about to strike as he came into that second turn. Villegas going round, and he suffered a blowout, and that ended his lap. Any chance of taking the podium had gone at that point. Coming out of the final turn, the world champion Arthur Pilard taking it. Gonzalo Molina, he knew he was close. He wasn't quite close enough. The head went back as he crossed the line. He knew he'd just missed out on repeating that famous win. Cameron Wood rounding out the podium.
So great riding by Arthur Pilard at the fastest time. The only rider to go sub 30 seconds on the track at round number 5, and that pushed him in that second place a little bit closer to Sylvain Andre in the men's race. In the women's race, well, it was all change.
Yep, all change. Sayasa Kakibara and Zoe Claessens battling into that first turn. Taya Rufus in there inside the top 4, and as they came out of the final corner, it was Zoe Claessens and Sayasa Kakibara bringing it to the line, working the way through in that semi-final. Taya Rufus in that 3rd position, with Paula Reis Santos making her very first final of the 2025 World Cup season. Megan Williams and Augustina Cavalli unlucky in that one as we moved on to semi-final number 2. Bethany Shriver on the inside. Patience there from Bethany as she was pushed towards the back of the pack as they went into the turn, and she started to make her way through, but it was Simpson, Smulders and Rydenor out in front. Bethany just quietly going about business as they went down that 3rd straight, and by the time they got to the line, she's worked herself into that 2nd spot, battled with Molly Simpson to the stripe, but they were following Laura Smulders across that line. Laura, she said she was back, and we're really glad to see it. The Women Elite Final, Laura Smulders, Zoe Claessens, Sayasa Kakibara, Bethany Shriver, the world champion for 2025 there in the rainbow stripes. And as the gate dropped, Bethany in the middle of the pack, not quite getting the start that she required. Laura Smulders on the inside, but it was Sayasa Kakibara, the series leader from Australia, the Olympic champion, getting out in front with Zoe Claessens, twice European champion, chasing her into that second turn. Delaney Vaughan in there in 3, and Laura Smulders had started to work her way through by passing Taya Rufus as they came out of turn number 2, but the battle out front was between the Australian and the Swiss rider. Zoe Claessens did everything she could to get close to Sayasa Kakibara, closing that gap, didn't quite have what she needed when she got to the line. Sayasa Kakibara taking the win from Zoe Claessens. Great lap from her, and Laura Smulders rounded out the podium. All smiles and hugs as they crossed the line. And there was your confirmed results. Sakakibara, Clayson, Smulders, 1, 2, 3 in round number 5 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup.
And so Sakakibara, with taking that win, extends her lead over second place, but the second place has changed with Laura Smulders moving up to third, Zoe Clayson's moving up into second, and Molly Simpson dropping down into fourth place. So here at Santiago del Estero for the final round of the BMX Racing World Cup for 2025. We're going to kick it off our semi-finals with the women's under 23 semi-finals. 4 riders from each of our semi-finals to go through to the finals. Can anybody stop Michelle Vissing from making it a clean sweep of wins in the World Cup for 2025?
Well, if there's one rider who's going to have a go at stopping Michelle Vissing, it's Ava Cawley. She won 2 races here on this track in the World Cup in 2023. She knows what it takes to get it done, to get on top of that podium. So all eyes will be on Ava Cawley in the first of these semi-finals. But she's certainly got, an array of riders to deal with. Michelle Vissing, the new World Cup champion for 2025, and then some slightly more unknown scenarios in terms of like Maria Alfaro Borgia, who's lined up in there, and also Mia Valentina Torres. So Michelle Vissing, she'll be looking to go through in semi-final number 1. There is Veronika Stariska, the European champion from Latvia. She will be in the second of those semi-finals, and Dominica Mora-Cordero also going to be mixed up in semi-final number 2.
So 2 semi-finals, 2 packed fields of racers taking to our race start, taking to the gate up at the top of that 8-metre start ramp. And these riders, well, they know that they have 2 more rides potentially away between them and the win here if they can take it in our finals here at round number 6. So we just thought watching the riders make their way to the top of the hill. Michelle Vissing, she just seems to deal with the pressure. She says she always says, I never know how I'll win. I didn't know how I won. Well, she's just incredibly quick and very quick in the last sections of the race.
Yeah, the consistency from Michelle Vissing's been absolutely superb, taking the World Championship title as well. She's pretty much unstoppable in the women under 23, but we've got a couple more laps to go here in round 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. But there is Michelle Vissing lining up in the rainbow stripes atop that gate. Ava Cawley out in gate number 6, and the 506 in gate number 2. That is Alexis Alden from the USA. She's had some great World Cups this year. Victoria Dubé of Canada in gate number 5. And also from the USA, we've got Darren Merton in gate number 4.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
So 3 American riders in the first of these semi-finals here for the women under 23, and all 3 look like they've got a decent start, but it's Michelle Vissing who's going to lead it into the turn. Vissing in there in 1, that looks like Alexis Alden in 2. Where is Ava Cawley? She's in 5th. She needs to be inside the top 4, so she's got some work to do now. Through the second corner we go, and it is Michelle Vissing being tracked down by the 2 Americans, Alexis Alden and Darren Merton into the final turn. Vissing's going to hold on to it. Looks like Ava Cawley's going to go out of the semi-final stage. That'll be disappointment for the third of the American riders. Michelle Vissing takes the win. Merton in 2, Alden in 3, Francesca Cingolani in 4. And disappointment for Ava Cawley coming through in 5th.
Well, Vissing now, after saying that she goes quick at the end of the race, went quick down that first straight. She didn't get the fastest gate, but the acceleration down that first straight really saw her drive in, take that whole shot. Let's watch this back.
Yeah, she got out relatively well. She had a bit of pressure from the rider from the USA next to her. That was the 506 of Alexis Alden. But by virtue of the fact that she had the inside line into turn number 1, that allowed Michelle Vissing to take the shortest distance into turn number 1. That gave her the whole shots. And Darren Merton and Alexis Alden were chasing her down. Ava Cawley had too much to do at this stage to chase down Francesca Cingolani as they came down out of the turn. Vissing taking it, Cingolani in there in 4. You can just see that Ava Cawley's head just dropped that little bit. She knows she's let an opportunity slip away.
And Singalani now making the finals, didn't do that in round number 5, so a better day for her than she had in round number 5. So going to be interesting to see what she can do when she goes through. Who will be joining Michelle Vissing, Darren Merton, Alexis Alden and Francesca Singalani in those finals? Well, 4 riders to come from the second of our semi-finals.
Yep, looking at the lineup for semi-final number 2, we've got the Junior Women World Champion for 2025, Lily Greenoff, in gate number 1, and the Great Britain fans will have their eyes on gate 6 with Emily Hutt.
And those 2 riders battling it out for 2nd and 3rd position overall. They are the only 2 riders who could challenge for 2nd place, but a number of riders could push them down if either of these riders don't have a good day and don't make it into the finals. So they need to get to those finals, and then they need to see who finishes in front to see who will be in 2nd and 3rd place overall in the series standings.
As we take a look at Emily Hutt of Great Britain getting onto the gate, unfortunately Emily didn't have the World Championships that she wanted, unfortunately taking a crash in warm-up on the Sunday and wasn't able to take to the line. So this World Cup giving Emily Hutt a little bit of a chance of redemption just to end her season on a high, and the Great Britain fans back in the UK will certainly be watching with interest. Riders heading up the hill, that is Veronika Stariska, the European champion out of Latvia. Out there in her favoured gate 8. Lily Greenoff in gate number 1. And the 5'11", Alma Pinheiro, hoping to give the home fans something to cheer about. Taya Rufus awaiting her semi-final. And the crowd poised and ready for the action to continue.
Long hold here, Stariska right up on those pedals early. Looks like we're good to go.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Second semi-final for the women under 23 here in Santiago del Estero. Can the European champion Veronika Stariska get across from the outside? She's made a move, but she's just going to have to settle in behind Lily Greenoff of New Zealand. So Greenoff in 1, Stariska in 2. Where is Emily Hutt? She's in there somewhere and trying to work her way through, but she's got a lot of work to do at the moment as they come out of that second turn. Munoz Velez in there in 3rd. Simish Kina, the neutral athlete, in there in 4. It looks like Emily Hutt's World Cup semi-final is over as they come out of the turn. It's going to be Greenoff, Stariska 1 and 2 bringing it to the line. Is Simish Kina going to make it in? Through in 4th, Munoz Velez in 3rd. Disaster for Emily Hutt coming through in 8th, but Lily Greenoff looking very, very good in this under 23 semi-final.
So Lily Greenoff now should be pretty secure as long as she finishes in the finals in 2nd place in that series overall. Emily Hutt there on the right hand side of your screens. Well, fist bumps there with Stariska, but very interestingly, Stariska is a rider who could challenge along with Morda Cadera and Alden for the positions in down below 2nd place. So still undecided at the moment as to where that's going to go. It's all going to depend on those final positions in the final behind Vissing and behind Greenoff, who should be our 1 and 2, but they will want to take the win. Greenoff's start there, absolutely phenomenal. Great start from the gate.
Yeah, she took full advantage of lane number 1, having the shortest distance into that first turn, but Veronika Stariska did really well to get across from gate number 8. And you could see that Manuela Munoz Velez, she was delighted as she crossed the line to take that 3rd position, make that World Cup final. And Alexandra Simoshkina, the neutral athlete, taking that final qualification spot in 4th.
And you can see those confirmed results on your screen with Stariska going in through ahead of Greenoff, Munoz Velez and Simiskina. Your 4 final qualifiers making it through to the finals, joining Vissing, Merton, Alden and Singalani. They are the riders through. The 2 Netherlands on the riders on the way round. The under 23 riders in the Netherlands holding top spot in both the men's and the women's under 23 competition, both having had that seal done and delivered before we came into round number 6, and it's left everybody else kind of fighting for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th places, and that's still an incredible result to finish inside the top 10 in a World Cup series. And you've still got that race to come. You've still got the finals.
Yeah, you still got the final to come, and you want to finish your World Cup season strong. And one rider who is looking to finish strong is Laura Smulders of the Netherlands. And if you can finish strong and go into that winter off season just with that confidence, it'll give you that boost as you go into the early off season training.
Well, one rider who is certainly going to be smiling all the way through today is going to be Michelle Vissing, wrapping up that series win in the women's under-23. But we're going to move across to the men's under-23 semi-finals now, and this is going to get us underway in the semi-finals to see which 8 riders in the men's under-23 competition will make it through into the finals from those that have made it thus far at round number 6.
Yep, looking at the lineup, I'm looking at gates 1 and 2, and we've got Evan Oliveira and Thomas Maturano right next to each other in the gate. I'm expecting a battle royale as that gate falls in the first of the men under-23 semi-finals. Jonas Idskov in gate number 3, Gianni Dodona in 4, Alexander Emmel in 5. And there is Evan Oliveira in gate number 1, and out on the outside, Valentino Vallejo, another one of the Argentinian contingent. Thomas Maturano took a tumble in round number 5.
Okay.
We are ready to go.
Random start. Riders ready. Watch the gate.
And then under 23 semi-finals. Go look at Evan Oliveira. He's right there into the turn, but he's got Thomas Maturano to deal with as well as they come in and out of turn number 1. Alexander Emmel and out in front it is Oliveira from France. So Emmel trying to make his move now and dive underneath. Dodona's worked his way into that second position, but it's Evan Oliveira is going to lead it through to that final corner. Oliveira, Dodona, Thomas Maturano. Looks like Idskov's hit the deck coming out of the final turn. Oliveira takes that semi-final win. Dodona in 2, Emmel in 3, Molina in 4, and Thomas Maturano out in 5. It all went wrong coming down the last straight.
Well, it did indeed all change. It all went wrong. Real changes for the riders there. Evan Oliveira really living up to that promise. Dodona, who've been putting some fantastic moves in the 8th and quarter-finals, are really, really strong here. And you could see him pushing his way in and across. There was a point at which you were just thinking, is he going to head off Oliveira coming into this turn? But Oliveira held his nerve, pushed Dodona into second place, and from there on, really, it was a battle to see who was going to qualify behind.
Yeah, it was, and Thomas Maturano didn't quite have the first straight that he needed just to get into a position, got squeezed a little bit going down there, and by the time they got to the line, he was out in 5th, but Evan Oliveira coming from junior men into under-23 on his first World Cup weekend and looking absolutely superb.
Well, he's going to make the finals here at round number 6. Oliveira, Dodona, Emmel and Molina, the 4 riders from the very first of our men's under-23 semi-finals, making the way through. Which of the riders in the second semi-final will join them? They include Jason Nordam, the man who's wrapped up the title. He is ahead of Mathis Jacquet, who's also in the men's under-23 second of our semi-final. As further down the hillside, or down at the base of the steps, you can see the women's elite all lining up. Lots of smiles from Molly Simpson. A number of the riders looking a little bit more focused, maybe.
Yeah, sometimes riders try to control their nerves by just being, a little bit more serious, just keeping their feelings to themselves. Some riders like to be relaxed. And Priscilla Stivola of Brazil, one of those riders who is a bit more relaxed, had a nice wave for the camera. But, the nerves starting to build as they get towards the top of the hill. But we've got the men under-23 semi-final number 2. There is Mathis Jacquet. He'll be out in gate number 4.
Winner of round number 5. What can he do here? Can he make it double up? Can he take away 2 wins in a row? Only 3 different riders taking wins. Nordam taking 3 wins on the bounce for the first 3 rounds, followed by Joshua Jolly winning at round 4, and then Mathis Jacquet taking away the win in round number 5.
There are the riders lined up. Jason Nordam in gate number 1, the bright pink race kit of Santiago Santa Moreno. Federico Capello in gate number 3. There he is.
Okay, riders. Random start. ready, watch the gate.
And the gate falls on the second of the semi-finals here for men under 23 as they head towards turn number 1. Jason Nordam picking up the whole shot. That looks like Federico Capello in there into Santiago Moreno getting involved as well. He's back there in about 7th, though he's been shuffled back going down that second straight as they go in and out of the corner. That is Mati Jacque in there in 3. Cutter Williams in 4 as they go towards the final turn. And in and out we go. It's going to be Nordam taking it to the line.
So our race action here, absolutely crazy action here in Santiago del Estero. Brilliant racing in the men's under 23 competition there with Nordam looking as good as ever, ahead of Capello, Maresco, Zimmerman and Williams. And you can just see the under 23 men's champion in the World Cup. Sucking in the oxygen, but a cheeky smile. So clearly very happy as we see our elite women lining themselves up on the gate.
Yeah, Jason Nordam certainly happy with that lap. You know, confidence building as they go towards the finals, and we look at the women elite heading towards the top of the hill, including Saisa Kakibara, as Arthur Pilard waits in the pens for his turn in the elite men semi-finals. But certainly Jason Nordam looking good. Federico Capello.
Well, those under-23 riders that have been racing get a little bit of a breather as we make our way through the semi-finals in the elite women and the elite men's competition here at Santiago del Estero at round number 6, the final round of the BMX Racing World Cup for 2025. This fantastic venue played host to the last round once again. It's been great to have it on the circuit for the last few years, and I think all the riders really enjoying racing here. We'll see who's going to enjoy it the most in our women's elite semi-finals. The riders are lining themselves up at the top of the hill ready to go, and as you can see, just making their way down to the front of the gate.
Yeah, Malin Kjellstrup there from Denmark on the 75 plate with Augustina Cavalli right next to her in gate number 6. Zoe Claessens occupying gate number 1, and Great Britain fans will have their eyes on gate 3, and Bethany Shriver, the reigning world champion, picked up that title in Copenhagen. As we take a look at Malin Kjellstrup. The elite men waiting for their turn.
Patience is a virtue,
Absolutely.
Apparently. Not one of mine. I have to say, I think it's incredible the way that the riders switch on and switch off.
Yeah.
Between waiting, going to the hill, waiting, getting delays. It's a real mindset to be able to then turn it on and deliver the explosive power that you've gone through, and the mind games that must go on inside the head. So critical to be able to master that.
Yeah, it is. It's a very tough skill to master, and it's one that any young rider out there who's watching the World Cup and wants to be, you know, a great rider, it's one of those skills that not many people think about, but it's a great one to have. As we look at the riders lining up for elite women semi-final number 1. Yaroslava Bondarenko, the neutral athlete, in gate number 2. That is Zoe Claessens, Olympic medalist in Paris. She's twice European champion, coached by Liam Phillips. As we look at Bethany Shriver of Great Britain, the world champion in the rainbow jersey. There she is in gate number 3 with Paula Reis Santos, just to her right-hand side. Peyton Ridenour for the USA in gate number 5.
Okay.
And we are ready to go.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Elite Women's semi-final number 1 is go. Bethany Shriver's got herself a flyer, and she's got Zoe Claessens right next to her going into the turn. Who's going to get the whole shot? It's Claessens just on the inside. Claessens, Shriver, Kjellstrup, Reis Santos. Is Reis Santos going to make it 2 finals out of 2 on the final weekend of the World Cup season? She's certainly in position to do that, but look at Zoe Claessens on the 65 plate heading into the final turn. In and out we go. Claessens and Shriver. Shriver's creeping back. Is she going to have enough to overhaul Zoe Claessens at the line? I don't think she did. Kelstrup's in there in 3. A shout of exultation from Paula Reis Santos. 2 finals in a weekend. The Brazilian will be delighted with that one.
And what a ride there. You could just see that acceleration just coming in towards the end from Shriver, really pushing on there and just challenging Zoe Claessens as she came in. Claessens taking away the win. Big hugs for Reis Santos. But from the start here, Zoe Claessens getting the gate number 1, really put that to good use. Bethany Shriver, though, the new version, the 2.0 version of Bethany Shriver, the one that goes from the middle of the pack and gets the elbows out.
Yeah, absolutely, but she's reverted to type by popping off an absolutely blistering start, and it was only by virtue of the fact that Zoe Claessens had that shorter line into turn number 1 that stopped Bethany Shriver picking up the whole shot, but Malene Kelstrup from Denmark came all the way across from gate number 8 to make that final. But Paula Reis Santos, she's had the weekend of dreams. 2 World Cup finals.
And she didn't have it all her own way. Bondarenko had pushed her back into 5th place partway through that lap. And then she came back in at her on that final straightaway. So Reis Santos really earning her place in those finals. The first 4 of our women elite riders to qualify from the semi-finals to our finals. Claessens, Shriver, Kelstrup and Reis Santos. Who will be joining them? Well, the men will be hearing it all from down at the base of the steps to make the way up to the top of the gate. They've got to just stay focused whilst around them. People they know really well, they see on the circuit all the time, are racing and trying to qualify for the finals. The women's elite taking place as the riders are lining up.
Yeah, and there is one rider who really wants to make the final here this weekend on his home track, Federico Villegas, the Argentinian. As we look at Molly Simpson of Canada, she's already had a win in the World Cup Series this year. Delaney Vaughan as well. Certainly capable of putting some fantastic laps together. And as we look at the riders lining up, Saya Sakakibara in gate number 1. Laura Smulders right next to her in gate 2. Molly Simpson in 3. Delaney Vaughan in 4. Taya Rufus, gate number 5. Megan Williams of New Zealand, gate number 6. And out in gate number 7, Priscilla Stivo Carnaval of Brazil.
Sakakibara, the rider who took the win in the last round, definitely on flying form. What can she do here today? Simpson needs to refine that form, only 6th in the finals, but she did make those finals. She'll be looking to improve on that, maybe find that winning form. So critical in points. Quick reminder, top 4 riders battling it out for the win in the series overall in those standings, and that is Sakakibara, Claessens, Smulders and Simpson. So every position, every place on the gate is going to be critical today.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Gate drops on the second of these semi-finals for the women elite. Saya Sakakibara and Molly Simpson heading towards turn number 1. Going to go 1 and 2. Laura Smulders just working her way into that 3rd spot. That is Delaney Vaughan of the USA in there in 4. Taya Rufus in 5. But Saya now starting to open up a bit of a lead as they go into turn number 2. Laura Smulders looking to work her way past Molly Simpson but couldn't quite make it stick. Taya Rufus is making moves down that 3rd straight and battling with Delaney Vaughan going into the final corner. Saya Sakakibara is out in front. She's going to take the win. Smulders has worked her way into 2. Molly Simpson for 3, and I've got a feeling that Taya Rufus stole it away from Delaney Vaughan at the line.
Wow, Rufus was all over the back wheel of Vaughan like a rash coming round that final turn. She looked to the right, she looked to the left, she eventually went left and just had the legs to squeak in 4th place to qualify. Saya Sakakibara, though, well, continuing onwards. Sakakibara taking away the win, the first rider in and over the line. So Sakakibara is in there, Smulders in 2nd, Simpson in 3rd and Rufus in 4th, and we're just going to get confirmation, but by my very dodgy maths, I do believe that secures the win because she's made the final for Saya Sakakibara. The points gap now should be too big to the riders behind for, even if she comes in last, to be in there. But let's get official confirmation of that. But I think that means that she's going to take it. And you can see what it meant to her. Look at the gap she opened there, Rich.
Yeah, she had a great gap coming out of that final turn. Laura Smulders had managed to work her way past Molly Simpson, and Taya Rufus left it right till the end to sneak past Delaney Vaughan. But I've got a feeling that might be your new World Cup champion for Elite Women for 2025, Saya Sakakibara.
Well, great riding by Saya Sakakibara, just coming in and through, going over the line. But behind her, don't forget the positions are super close. Only 61 points separating Zoe Claysons and Laura Smulders. And there are 70 points difference between first and second places alone. Never mind if you finish 2 or 3 places down in the final. So our last 4 riders to make it through to the final: Saya Sakakibara, Laura Smulders, Molly Simpson and Taya Rufus going through, joining Zoe Claysons, Bethany Shriver, Marlene Kelstrup and Paolo Reis Santos in our women's elite final.
So more excitement to come with the men elite semis. There is Michelle Vissing awaiting her women under 23 final. So the pressure's certainly starting to build here at the last race of the 2025 UCI BMX Racing World Cup season. Still all to play for, still that win to be taken as we move to the top of the gate and look at the men elite semi-finals.
So 8 riders to come from our semi-finalists, and both of these semi-finals are absolutely stacked. And whilst we might think we've got 1 or 2 riders who are likely to be clear at the front, that battle for 4th and 5th position is going to be super, super close.
It is going to be close. There's certainly, riders who can work their way in pressure situations. Riders like Drew Polk and Renaud Blanc, capable of making big moves when it counts. But they've got to make a serious move to get past the world champion Arthur Pilard. In there in gate number 1, he's got his compatriot Eddie Clerté. Next to him in gate number 2, there he is, world number 3 and world pump track champion. Let's see if he can make another World Cup final.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
It's go, go, go in the first of the semi-finals for the men elite heading down the hill. Pilard and Clerté looking good into the turn. Here comes Rico Bierman as well, working his way into that third spot. Oh, it's got all mixed up as they came in. There's a turn and one rider's hit the deck. Now let's have a look who's got 4 and 5. It's the Brazilian rider in there. That's De Santos, I think it is. But look who's right behind him heading towards the final corner. Drew Polk, can he make the move in and out of the final turn? Looks like he's going to run out of time and room yet again. Pilard takes it at the line. Pilard, Clerté, Bierman, Santos, Drew Polk denied again in that 5th spot. But Arthur Pilard, he's looking to make it 2 wins for the weekend.
He's going the right way about taking away the title. He has one man to beat, that's Sylvain Andre. He needs to be in that number 1 spot. He needs to take the win to deny the series win to Sylvain Andre. He went the right way about it here. Behind that battle, a real fight going on. Drew Polk just without enough, and that start just left him too much work to do.
Yeah, just a little bit too much. I just had my eye on Drew because he's famed for the moves that he makes in the turns, and I was waiting for something to come in either the second or the last turn, but he couldn't quite get close enough to De Quiros of Brazil. I was hoping he would have had time to line it up, but it didn't quite work out. Meanwhile, Pilard taking it to the line from Clerté. Rico Bierman had a scorcher of a lap coming from gate number 3. He's worked his way into a World Cup final, but it's Arthur Pilard who's looking very much in control at this moment in time.
It certainly is in terms of that semi-final, but we've got our second semi-final to come. And the 4 riders, Pilard, Clerté, Bierman, Santos Medeiros de Quiros, are going to be joined by 4 more riders. Which of the 4 riders will it be? They're lining up on the gate at the top. And this is going to be very, very telling. Sylvain Andre in gate number 4, the man who is leading the series. He needs to make sure he finishes ahead of Arthur Pilard. If he does that, and that is all he needs to do, then he will take away the title. But Pilar can match him, Pilar will take away the win. So if Pilar wins and Andre's second, that will be the difference that will be in there. Andre, I think, will be looking for that win, but he could be up against a home rider here in the shape of Gonzalo Molina. He has been looking very strong. And, of course, don't forget Federico Villegas. He gave us our track preview. He knows this inside out.
Yeah, it certainly does. Federico Villegas on his home track here in Santiago del Estero. Gonzalo Molina wanting to repeat that victory of 2019. And there is Cameron Wood of the US of A. Current USA BMX Pro Series champion, looking to make another World Cup final.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Second semi-final for the elite men, heading down the hill. Magnus Dyer coming across from the outside, the world number 6. Is he going to pick up a whole shot? I think he might do. No, Gonzalo Molina's dived underneath. So Molina and Dyer going 1 and 2. Sylvain Andre's in there in 3. That is Cameron Wood in 4. Where is Villegas? Oh, he's all got caught up with the Colombian rider. So it looks like his dreams of making the World Cup final on his home track are over. Molina coming out of the final turn, out in front. Molina, Dyer, Andre, Cameron Wood. That is going to be a 1, 2, 3 and 4. Maurizio Molina Vergara out in 5. All excitement. Federico Villegas disappointed, but Molina making it through to the final again.
Well, what a race with Molina taking away top spot. Dyer back on form. Andre here coming through in 3rd there. Cameron Wood, the rider who took 3rd in round number 5, making his way in through behind our leading 4. It all got tangled up.
Yeah, the elbows were flying literally as they'd gone 3 pedals out of the gate, because it was Suarez and Molina who were getting their elbows together as they were coming down the hill. I honestly thought Magnus Dyer was going to pick up the whole shot. Gonzalo Molina had other ideas and he led it through the 3rd straight towards the final turn, and it was Andre and Wood in that 3rd and 4th spot. There was a big gap to Molina Vergara in 5, too much for him to overcome, but it was Gonzalo Molina taking the win. Dyer in 2, Andre in 3, Cameron Wood in 4. They're going to go through to the final. It's all going to come down to the final race of the season in elite men.
So Arthur Pilar, Eddie Clutty, Rico Behrman and Pedro Santos Medeiros de Quiros are joined by Gonzalez Molina, Magnus Dyer, Sylvain Andre and Cameron Wood going to be the riders who are going to be in our final. And Sylvain Andre, you can see those rainbow bands on around his neck and on the wrist. As world champion, you get to wear those all the way in and through. Let's see what he can do. He's keeping everybody entertained as always down in the paddock, but I tell you something, he is clearly fired up and ready to make his way in and through and make his way and show us what he can do in our finals. So let's take a little bit of a look through what we've been up to. A fantastic racing so far. It's really seen some fantastic battles in the racing to date. We have our finals coming up for the 2025 BMX Racing World Cup season. So it's finals time, the finals. Not quite the final, but the finals.
Yeah, the finals, the business end of the 2025 UCI BMX Racing World Cup season. We're going to start with the women under 23. 165 points up for grabs for first place, 142 for second and 122 for third. So still points to be gained. The title's gone to Michelle Vissing of the Netherlands, but there's still riders who want to get in there and just prove what they're made of. Lily Greenoff in that second spot. Emily Hutt in third at the moment, but even though she hasn't made the final this time around.
And Alexis Alden has got the opportunity now to get some big point scores in. It could make all of the difference. Alexis Alden with points to make up here. Whether she can make enough is yet to be seen, but she's going to propel herself up inside the top 5 here today with the good ride. Stariska could also just about squeak into the top 5, but another good race here today will push her into the winter on a good form, and with those those good vibes that just keep you training when you're having a tough day. You know, it's you know that you're back on the treadmill, keeping on pushing, and it's going to really count what you do in that winter. That sets the foundation for the season to follow.
It certainly does. As we look at Michelle Vissing of the Netherlands, the World Cup champion, the world champion in gate number 6. Gate number 5, the neutral athlete Alexandra Simashkina. Looking very relaxed there. Gate number 4 on the 508 out of Italy, Francesca Cingolani. Gate number 3 out of the USA on that 506 plate, looking for her very first World Cup win. It's Alexis Alden. Gate 2 on the 501, already got a World Championship to her name in junior women, looking to make a repeat in the World Cup. It's Lily Greenoff. And in gate number 1 for the USA on the 507, Darren Merton.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
The gate drops on the last women under 23 final of the 2025 World Cup season. Oh, Veronika Stariska got it all wrong. She's down on the first straight, and let's have a look who's going to lead it out. That is Simashkina battling away with Lily Greenoff. Here comes Alexis Alden into that second position, but out in front, the neutral athlete. Simashkina, Darren Merton in there in 2, Cingolani in 3, Alexis Alden in 4, Lily Greenoff's battling away, and Michelle Vissing is back there in 5. But as they come in and out of the final corner, it's going to be Alexandra Simashkina, the neutral athlete, taking her very first World Cup win. Darren Merton in 2, Cingolani in 3, Alden in 4, Vissing in 5, but it all went wrong for Veronika Stariska before they got to the first corner.
And looking at that steely glaze of Michelle Vissing on the line, you thought she was going to have that down. It went wrong on that first turn, and you can see what it means. Taking that first World Cup win, Simashkina here takes away a top spot. Stariska's picked herself back up again, all smiles, laughing with the medics team that our riders get to know all too well one way or another. But what a win. Simashkina taking away a victory in the final round here of the World Cup for 2025. Our race winner here today, and what a ride. You could just, it's just sinking in, isn't it? You could just see it permeating from the top. I mean, Stariska got it all wrong. It all went pear-shaped. Foot came out of the pedal, and that was it. Just didn't have the control coming through that jump. But then we saw Vissing, and at this stage you say, this is Vissing's to lose.
Yeah, Vissing, she had that steely look in her eye as the gate dropped, and Lily Greenoff just worked her way through, pushed her wide, but that allowed Alexandra Simashkina to dive underneath, ruining the momentum of some of those riders going down that second straight, and Simashkina starting to open up a gap, even though she bobbled going into that second turn. Cingolani was looking for a way through as well. Lily Greenoff was doing everything she possibly could. Alexis Alden in the battling with Darren Merton, the 2 Americans fighting for podium spots, but it was at this point that Simashkina was just too far ahead to be caught. She brought it to the line, the neutral athlete, Alexandra Simashkina, taking her very first World Cup win in the last World Cup of the 2025 season.
Brilliant ride by Simashkina to take that, keeping it under control. The fist bump there from Darren Merton, who's got to be pleased. She was looking almost overjoyed just to be on the gate, on gate 1 at the top of the gate in the finals, ready to go, and then takes away second place. Cingolani getting that third place. A real battle with Alexis Alden coming in. Vissing, the World Cup champion, takes away 5th place. Greenoff taking 6th position here, and that does mean that Alden taking 4th. That will have certainly propelled her up the standings. Greenoff, though, not necessarily making massive points here, so it's going to come down to the calculations. Fortunately, the amazing team behind the timing and scoring are going to be doing the maths for those overall standings. No doubting our overall winner, and no doubting our race winner in the women's under 23 final here. So a fantastic ride by Simaskina to take the win. Our congratulations to her. A brilliant, brilliant win. And she put in the work. She was in there. And the control, when she had that bobble, to then, gets the wobble, keeps it nailed, and goes through the finish. Absolutely fantastic to see.
Yeah, she worked her way into that second corner, just like you say, overcame that bobble, but there was chaos behind as Darren Merton and Singalani were working their way into the top three.
So time for us to see our riders presented with flowers. Francesca Singalani of Italy taking third place, taking second place for the United States of America, Darren Merton, and Alexandra Simaskina taking away the race win here today in round number 6. The only rider who could deprive the win from our series leader. Series winner today, taking away the series win, is Michelle Vissing. 5 wins for Vissing, couldn't make it 6, but the win going to Michelle Vissing overall. Today's podium, your top 3 riders: Singalani taking third place, Merton taking second, and Simaskina taking away top spot.
Yep, Alexandra Simaskina with her first World Cup win, Darren Merton with her first podium, and I've got a sneaking suspicion it might be Francesca Singalani's first podium as well. So, 3 firsts on top of there. And congratulations to all 3 riders.
Fantastic to see, and it's almost that little bit of a changing of the guard again, because under 23 is such a fluid category, because riders come in at the end of juniors, they move through, some riders move up early into elites as well. So there's lots of changes going on there. Simaskina taking that win, a brilliant job done by her, and we've got to say, a brilliant, brilliant job done by Michelle Vissing. Not to be today, but she takes away the win with 5 wins out of the 6 races in the series.
Overall winner, she gets handed over the trophy by the UCI Michelle Vissing of the Netherlands takes the overall.
Well, Michelle Vissing taking the overall title in the 2025 UCI BMX Racing World Cup Series. She gets handed that trophy. Great ride, 5 wins out of the 6 races, and the title is hers. Well, you can see the confirmed points standings in here. Vissing taking top spot, 915 points. Well clear of Lily Greenhoff, who holds on to take that second place from Emily Hutt in third. Van Sanford holding it on to fourth. Alden moving into that 5th place. And Simaskina into 6th position there. Great result for the winner of round number 6, taking 6th overall. Well, all action. Surprise results maybe for many, including me, in terms of our winner in the under-23 women's final. Let's see what happens in the men's under-23 final. Will we get the same surprises, Rich?
Well, it's to be decided, but certainly there's all the ingredients for a surprise package here in the last of the men under-23 finals. We've got the series winner, Jason Nordam, but he's got to deal with the likes of Federico Capello, Evan Oliveira, and James Cutter-Williams. As we take a quick look at the standings, Jason Nordam out there on top, Matisse Jacquet in 2nd position, Joshua Jolly in 3rd, and Alexis Pishanowski rounding out the top 4. But there's still one more final to go here in the World Cup season.
So the points at the moment, as you can see, taking away the win gives you 165 points. Second place at 142 points. And those big points are likely to go, with the exception Jason Nordam, further down that race field, because Nordam are sealing that win behind him. Matisse Jacquet, he's got that second place secure. Whatever happens now, that's not going to change. And so is Joshua Jolly in terms of the third. So the top 3 sealed, done and delivered. But everybody wants to win a World Cup. And this is a chance. This is your chance to see, can you depose Jason Nordam? He won the first 3. He's not won since. Can he do it on the last round?
It's looking very good for him, let's put it that way.
Oh, you get splinters. You sit on that fence much longer, mate.
Well, you know.
Well, great to see Michelle Vissing there just chatting at the with the riders afterwards. Meanwhile, you can see our next group of riders. That's going to be our women elite who'll make their way up to the top of the gate. But at the top, lining up for the men's under-23 finals, our riders getting ready to go.
Yeah, Alexander Emmel of Switzerland in gate number 8. Gate number 7 from Argentina. The crowd will go wild for Franco Santiago Marina. Gate number 6 out of the USA, it's James Cutter Williams. Gate number 5 from Argentina on the 506 plate, Gianni Dodona. Gate number 4 on the 509, Lucas Moresco Zimmerman from Brazil. And gate 3 making his transition from junior men into the under-23 category on the 544, it's Evan Oliveira from France. Gate number 2 on the 508, one of the local favourites from Argentina, Federico Capello. And gate number 1 on the inside, it is Jason Nordam. The final men under 23 final of the 2025 season, ready to go.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
The men under 23 leave the gate in the final World Cup race of the 2025 season. Who's going to lead it into the turn? Jason Nordam out in front. That looks like Zimmerman in there in third. He's chasing down Evan Oliveira into that second corner. Let's have a look. Moves being made. Oh, Dodona's trying to get involved as well. That looks like Oliveira in there in that second spot. Capello's been shuffled back to about 6 as they come out of the final turn. It is going to be Jason Nordam, the World Cup champion in men under 23, wins the final race of the season. Evan Oliveira in 2, Zimmerman in 3, Dodona in 4, Capello rounding out the 5, but Jason Nordam, exclamation mark on his season.
Well, he well and truly punched that ticket out of the race because he did a fantastic job here today. Jason Nordam taking away the win, taking away the series. He had that signed, sealed and delivered in the last round. No problems at all. Nordam on the inside here. He was shoulder to shoulder coming into that first turn. It was so close as they came down. You thought, will he be challenged? But no. Really asserted his dominance and pushed into that top spot.
Yeah, I thought Evan Oliveira was just going to sneak a hole shot there because he got out so well. You know, cut off Federico Capello, who'd been shuffled back into that 4th spot. But Nordam just picking up where he's been all season, out in front for the most part. Didn't make the mistake he made in round number 5, coming down towards that final corner through the 3rd straight. And he had 4 bike lengths on Evan Oliveira of France at this point. Evan Oliveira making a real splash in this class at the end of the season. Zimmerman in 3, Dodona in 4, Capello for 5. But there is no doubt who's taking this men under 23 title for 2025 to add to his European title. It's Jason Nordam of the Netherlands.
Well, you can see the congratulations there coming from Evan Oliveira for the title winner, the race winner, Jason Nordam. You can see that time of 30.687 seconds. Nordam from Oliveira, from Zimmerman, then Dodona, Capello, Molina, Emmel and Cutter Williams. A real shoulder-to-shoulder, elbow-to-elbow race from start to finish. Only Nordam really managing to get clear of the rest of the riders as they came down in and away from turn number 1. Great riding by our World Cup winner. The winner of round number 6. It is Jason Nordam, winner of round number 6.
Jason, many congratulations on today's victory. Yesterday it wasn't a win and you weren't too happy today. I noticed you're a lot different. Tell us how you feel about today's victory.
It feels much better if people are in the crowd, like I'm doing my training and they start yelling Materano, so I hope they're okay now.
How much were you concentrating on not repeating the error from yesterday, because I know you were unhappy with yourself?
Just having fun.
How would you sum up this season, because you have won the overall championship under 23, you're the European champion as well?
Yeah, it's a perfect season for me. Let's see what next year can bring me.
Can we please have one answer in Dutch about today's win and your season in general?
Ik denk dat ik super blij ben. Of ja, ik weet zeker dat ik super blij ben met de win van vandaag. Vooral als ze andere namen naar me gaan roepen. Dus ik hoop dat ze hebben genoten hier.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Well, indeed, let's see what is to come. A man who's always looking forward there. A cheeky nod to the fact that the home fans are, of course, going to be cheering the home riders here. But no, we're going to see him, he races up and down where he's going to be very much at home as one of the Netherlands squad. It's the home of the Olympic training venue as well. But I'll tell you something. He's come back. He reset, a happier day today, being out on the track. He takes away the win. He bookends first and last round wins with really not one race where he wasn't on the podium. 1 third place, 1 second place, 4 wins. I mean, for most riders, that would be a season of their career.
Yeah, if that was my World Cup season, I'd be delighted with it.
Well, I think there's a lot of people feeling the same there. But Jason Nordam already looking forward to see what next year will come. Well, great racing all the way through that race field. Lucas Maresco-Simon taking 3rd place in the race here in the final round for Brazil. Taking 2nd place, Evan Oliveira, in what is only his 2nd World Cup, 11th in round 5, taking away 2nd place here in round 6. Jason Nordam, while taking away the winner. Familiar spot for the man who takes away the series. Your World Cup winner, Jason Nordam of the Netherlands. 4 wins, a 2nd place and a 3rd. By far and away the best rider of the season in the men's under 23. Well, what can we say about this man that hasn't already been said? Jason Nordam taking away the number 1 spot here at the UCI BMX Racing World Cup in Santiago del Estero in Argentina, winning the final round, winning 4 rounds on his way to that title. Your top rider of the year, taking away the series win, Jason Nordam of the Netherlands. You can see the points on your screen at the moment, 924 points, the eventual point score for Jason Nordam. Not quite the perfect score, but great riding by him. Matthew Shaki with that 2nd place secured at round number 5. Joshua Jolly coming in 3rd place ahead of Pikanowski, Asmus Piper, Capello and Rochereau, who round out the top 8. The full race results and the full standings available on www.uci.org. So our under-23 competitions are complete for the World Cup for 2025, and that leaves us our elite finals. The women's elite final coming up first, followed by the men's elite final here at Santiago del Estero. Our penultimate race is going to be an absolute blast because the points up for grabs here are going to be critical for the positions behind Saya Sakakibara, for Zoe Glaisers, for Laura Smolders, for Molly Simpson, for Bethany Schreiber, for Marlene Kelstrup, and all of those riders are in this race, along with Delaney Von Vaughan. Well, the best possible position I think she's going to get is just outside the top 5 overall, but my goodness me, it is so close when these riders are battling it out.
Yeah, very much so, and that's a great start list for the women elite final. Saya Sakakibara, Zoe Claessens, Bethany Schreiber, Laura Smolders, Molly Simpson, Marlene Kelstrup, Taya Rufus and Paula Reyes Santos, making her 2nd final of this final weekend of the year. And as we mention her name, there she is in gate number 8. 2 finals made at the final World Cup weekend of the year. Great performance from her. Gate number 7 on the 75 plate. The 2022 Women Under-23 World Champion, it's Marlene Kelstrup. Former Olympic champion and now world and European champion on the 911 from Great Britain, it is Bethany Schreiber. Gate number 5 out of Australia on that 5 plate, Taya Rufus. Gate number 4 on the 110, looking for World Cup win number 29, it's Laura Smolders from the Netherlands. Gate number 3 on the 44 play, already had a World Cup win this season. Can she put daylight between herself and the opposition? It's Molly Simpson. Gate number 2 on the 65 out of Switzerland, it's Zoe Claessens. And on the inside, on plate 77, your Olympic champion, it's Saya Sakakibara of Australia. Who's going to pick up the win in the final women elite race of the 2025 season? Saya Sakakibara of Australia is going to lead it into the turn. Sakakibara in there in one, Simpson in two, Smulders in three. That looks like Maylene Kelstrup rounding out the top four. Where is Bethany Shriver? She's worked her way up into five. But Saya Sakakibara, the Olympic champion, starting to extend the lead down towards the final turn. In and out we go. Sakakibara's going to wrap this one up, and the World Cup title to go with it. Laura Smulders in there in two. Bethany Shriver might just have picked up the three. Pippin Molly Simpson on the line, but there is no doubt who is your World Cup champion in elite women for 2025. It's Saya Sakakibara of Australia.
Well, what a run and what a way to wrap up your race season after not having had a win, after having to really reset. She started the season in second. She did to a fifth place. For most riders, that's a great result. But for Saya Sakakibara, it was not enough. 3 second places before she came to Santiago del Estero. A happy hunting ground for her in the past. 2 wins in the last 2 rounds, sealing the season with those 2 wins, taking away the series win. Saya Sakakibara, your race winner in the women's elite. Round number 6, she came through ahead of Laura Smulders. Smulders back on fire, changing coaches and absolutely flying. And Bethany Shriver up in second place, down into fifth place, finishing in third place. A real yo-yo ride.
Yeah, a yo-yo ride for Bethany Shriver. The gate didn't go her way, and she was back there in about 7th or 8th as they headed towards that first turn. Saya Sakakibara absolutely on fire, though, coming down there and taking that whole shot. Molly Simpson there in 2. Laura Smulders was just checking her in that second corner, giving herself a little bit more room just to get through that third straight. Meanwhile, Bethany Shriver had worked her way from 8th into 5th, and she still hadn't finished coming down the final straight. But it was to no avail because Saya Sakakibara had taken the win, taken the title. Bethany got herself into the top 3. Laura Smulders in that second position.
So Sakakibara taking the win, Smulders in second, Shriver in third, Simpson in 4th, Kelstrup in 5th, Rufus in 6th, Clayton's in 7th, and Reese Santos in 8th. That's a provisional result, but you can see the crowd really applauding a very worthy World Cup winner, a rider who has pressed that reset button in style as she's come through into this season and really finishing it how you want to finish the season. It would be great to win every single race. She said you know that you can't do that, but she wondered whether she would get a win, whether she'd finish her season with a win. She's just put 2 together in the last 2 rounds. Saya Sakakibara, what a ride by the World Cup winner for 2025. So let's take a look at the final standings after that final race. Well, changes behind Saya Sakakibara, who takes away the title because Smulders moving from 3rd into 2nd place. Simpson moving herself from 4th into 3rd. All change, but no doubting Saya Sakakibara at the top of the standings.
Congratulations on today's win and also the overall series win. It's the 3rd time in 3 years you've won the overall World Cup title. What does this one mean to you, though?
It means so much, it really does. And after the World Championships, I knew that I was going to come here and do exactly what I did this weekend. I really wanted to go for the 3 years in a row. I know Laura Smulders, she'd done it in 3 years, so I wanted to match that record. And yeah, I really love this track, so I think I had really good memories, and yeah, I was able to pull it off.
Yeah, and today you won by a considerable distance. That's 2 wins out of 2 here in Santiago del Estero this weekend. What do you think went right for you? What clicked for you this weekend?
I think I just wanted it the most. I think that's just simple as that. I think I struggled a little bit through the first half of the season where, you know, I won that gold medal last year and I didn't really know what was driving me this season. But this weekend I knew I wanted to win, and I think that was what it was.
You've spoken over the season about learning as the season goes on. What have you learned about yourself this season?
Oh, the biggest one is, knowing what you want. And that's probably one of the hardest things to figure out, but once you do, it's a superpower.
Well, as you say, you really wanted this title. Congratulations and all the best for the off-season.
Thanks so much.
Well, Sakakibara, she absolute interview gold. So much in that post-race interview. Knowing what you want, how much you want it, what you want the most. She said it all there, and it really did sum up a season for her that has seen her take away another World Cup title. Well, it's time to crown our World Cup winner here today. So she makes her way up to the podium for the race results. First of all, we have third place, Bethany Shree with that amazing ride to take away third place. Laura Smolders with a second, but both riders applauding. Saya Sakakibara, the winner of round number 6 here today. Your top 3 at round 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup in Santiago del Estero in Argentina. Shriver in 3, Smolders in 2, Sakakibara taking the second win in the row, and a race that sealed her win in the series overall.
That's it, Dana.
Get me home.
Well, I think it's been a long season for Beth Shriver by the sounds of it. It's time for her to head on home. One rider who's going to be going home with a very nice trophy for the win here in 2025. Your World Cup winner in the Women's Elite in the UCI BMX Racing World Cup for 2025, Saya Sakakibara of Australia. Well, she said how much she wanted it. That was the real learning, knowing what you want and how much you want it, and that's what propelled her onwards. And always a great interview. Always worth watching back just for the interviews with Saya Sakakibara afterwards, because there's so much information, it's so little time.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's done such a good job this season. Her consistency's been unmatched. Congratulations to Saya, winning the World Cup for the 3rd season in a row.
Well, it leaves one more race to go. This is going to be our men's finals. Don't forget, this is for the title, because although Saya Sakakibara has got enough points by making it to the finals to take away the win, that's not the case here. At the moment, Sylvain Andre is leading. However, if Arthur Pilar takes the win, even if Andre takes second place, the win will go to Pilar on the basis of the number of wins. But don't forget, there are 6 other riders all in the mix, all fighting for points. Cameron Wood could, in theory, be battling away for a second place, a third place. It could be battling for the win. It's all going to come down to what they do here today. Pilar, Clerty, Molina, Bierman, along with Santos Medeiros de Queiroz, Dyer, Andre and Wood. That is a final in the final of the series that you really want to see lined up.
Yeah, if you couldn't ask for a better lineup in the final race of the 2025 season, and out in gate number 8 for the USA, it is Cameron Wood. Gate number 7 currently leading the standings. He's got that red plate on his bike from France. It's Sylvain Andre. Gate number 6, the world number 6. He's really burst onto the elite men's scene this season. It's Magnus Dyer from Denmark. Gate number 5, out of Brazil, it's Pedro Santos Medeiros de Queiroz. Gate number 4, out of New Zealand, the New Zealand national champion, it's Rico Bierman. Gate number 3, out of Argentina. He's won here before. He really wants to do it again. Look at the fans going wild for Gonzalo Molina. Gate number 2, the world number 3 and world pump track champion, it's Eddie Clerté. And in gate number 1, on the inside, the rainbow jersey of the world champion, it's Arthur Pilar from France.
Well, Pilar has the chance here to make it the World Cup win as well as the World Championship win. The pressure on the shoulders of the riders must be immense at this moment in time, but they have to focus. It's time to go racing. The very last race of the World Cup here in Santiago del Estero. The 2025 season will come to a close at the end of this race.
The last lap of the season is go, the elite men. Who's going to take the win? Who's going to take the title? We're going to find out in the next 30 seconds. Arthur Pilar has picked up the whole shot. Pilar in 1, Clerté in 2, Gonzalo Molina in 3. Where is Sylvain Andre? He's on the inside trying to work his way through into a top 5 position. He's got Cameron Wood to deal with as well, but Arthur Pilar is out in front. Gonzalo Molina's been shuffled back into 3. The Brazilian rider's trying to work his way through as well, but Arthur Pilar is going to take the win. Pilar takes it to the line. Clerté in 2, Molina in 3. Magnus Dyer rounded out the top 4, and Arthur Pilar comes across the line and takes the win.
Well, what a ride here. A return to the track for Sylvain Andre, not to be his race in terms of the race win. That went to Arthur Pilar, and the man can deal with pressure in what style, because the world champion with that world champion's jersey, he takes the congratulations of the man he has just taken the title from. Andre was leading at the end of round 5. But Pilar was in the ascendancy, the win at the World Championships, a win in round 5. He takes away the win here today, and at the moment there is no doubting who is the #1 men's elite rider in the world.
Yep, Arthur Pilar, I'm sure his fan club will be going absolutely wild back in Brittany, watching these pictures. Celebrates in front of the photographers. Arthur Pilar of France taking the win here in round 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. A very, very popular rider, and there is no doubt how fast he's been this year. Put it all together, Arthur Pilar is your World Cup champion.
Well, what a ride by Pilar. He went shot out of that gate. He came in and through. Sylvain Andre knew that he was up against it. He needed to take that win. It wasn't going to happen pretty much from the gate. Pilar has been on fire all weekend.
Yeah, and if you're going to go from gate 7, you really need to get across early doors, and it's not that Sylvain Andre can't do it, but it's just one heck of a task to get it done. He gave it everything he had. It wasn't quite to be. As he got into that first turn, Pilar took the whole shot. Eddie Clerté in there in that second spot. Gonzalo Molina was trying to give the home fans what they wanted. Meanwhile, Zimmerman, De Quiros was battling away, working his way into a top 4 spot. Andre was back in 5. It all got mixed up in the final turn. Rico Bierman got caught up in it. Meanwhile, Pilar was taking it from Clerté and Molina. Dyer rounded out the top 4, and the title is headed back to France, albeit with another rider.
So Arthur Pilar, with that ride, seals his World Cup win. It is going to be his 3rd win. He's won half of the World Cups this year in the men's elite. He took away the title at the World Championships, that #1 plate on his bike. Boy, does he deserve it. A very worthy winner, absolutely dealing with that pressure, no problems at all. Behind him, the second rider over the line, fellow Frenchman Eddie Clerté coming through behind to take 2nd place. And Argentina with another podium here on the track, with Gonzalo Molina taking away 3rd place. A brilliant race to round out the season here at Santiago del Estero, round 6 of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup. Well, here we go. These are the standings. Arthur Pilar taking away the win in the series overall. 2nd place going to Sylvain Andre, and Cameron was scraping that 3rd place ahead of Eddie Clerté, who rocketed his way up and through. And Eddie Clerté, I think, with his very first World Cup podium there, according to Rich.
Also, the overall series winner. Arthur does not speak too much English, so I'm going to conduct this interview in French. Arthur, encore une victoire et aussi champion du classement général pour cette année. Tes sentiments, tes pensées en ce moment?
Ouais, très content. C'était vraiment pas un objectif en début d'année. Et au fur et à mesure de la saison, c'en est devenu un. Je suis arrivé ici sans trop savoir mon niveau. Et bon, j'ai vu qu'hier ça allait très bien. Et aujourd'hui, j'ai essayé de faire la même chose et ça a fonctionné, donc c'est cool.
Tu as gagné ici le classement général, tu es aussi le champion du monde. Pourquoi cette saison tu as eu autant de succès?
J'ai pris mon temps dans ma préparation. Ici, il y a 2 ans, justement, j'ai eu un gros problème à la cheville qui m'a traîné une grosse année et j'ai pris le temps de la soigner, de bien me préparer et de commencer la saison du mieux possible. C'est ce que j'ai fait.
Le classement, c'était très serré entre toi et Sylvain André. Parle-nous un peu du niveau de compétition entre les pilotes français.
Ouais, Sylvain a un niveau de régularité très très élevé. Je crois qu'avant d'arriver ici, il avait fait que des podiums. Hier, il fait 4. Aujourd'hui, je ne sais pas combien il fait, mais ouais, je savais que c'était possible de le rattraper. Et avec hier, je savais que si aujourd'hui je gagnais, peu importe le résultat de Sylvain, je remportais le classement. Donc aujourd'hui, je voulais qu'une chose, c'était gagner et on allait faire les comptes après.
Arthur, merci. Félicitations. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Wow, brilliant racing by the man who takes away top spot there. Very, very pleased and content with today's racing after yesterday and in round 5 taking away that win. His objective of the year to win the World Cup, and he's certainly done that in style. He also takes away the World Championships jersey, a real season to remember. And when asked about his off-season, well, time to go spend time with the kids to talk to the team that have helped him get this far, and then think about next season already. He also gave a little bit of a tribute there really to Sylvain Andre and the performance of him and the fact that they all elevate each other on that French squad. Well, let's take a look at our top 3 here today. Great racing by González Molina of Argentina, taking away 3rd place here today. Eddie Clertet of France are making it 2 French riders on the podium, and you can see that smile, the handshakes here, but no doubting the world champion, your race winner and your World Cup Series winner, Arthur Pilard of France, centre stage, number 1 at everything this year. Well, great riding by all of our riders here in Santiago del Estero, rounded out by the men's elite here today. Great to see Eddie Clertet on that podium as the 2nd French rider, and González Molina, a brilliant ride by him. Kind of expected him to go well. He didn't disappoint, and he didn't disappoint the fans.
No, he definitely didn't disappoint the fans. 2 podiums, you can't argue with that.
Well, time to present the fastest man on the track, the rider of the season in the men's elite. It is Arthur Pilard, winner of the World Cup for 2025, taking away half of the series by winning it. The rest of the time battling for every single point, and at the end it came down to that ride in the finals. What a ride by Arthur Pilard, the World Cup winner for 2025. Rich, a great ride by Arthur Pilard, and we shouldn't let it go past the fact that to do that, to take the World Cup win and take the World Championship win is no mean feat at all in any of our race categories.
No, to put a season together that's that consistent, it's an amazing achievement.
So let's take a look at the fastest laps from our elite riders. No surprises that they've come from our World Cup winners. In the men's competition, Arthur Pilard putting down the fastest lap of the weekend, sub 30 seconds the time. Pilard just leading from the front, and it allowed him to get that pace down.
Certainly did. Arthur Pilard, you know, a world champion, World Cup champion. It's only fitting that he does do the fastest lap of the weekend. He's put an absolutely superb World Cup season together. cherry on the cake, taking the title, the fastest lap. It's a nice bonus as well.
And you get a very nice number plate for that as well as the fastest women's lap, which went no surprises to Saya Sakakibara, putting down a 32.174 second lap. And again, just getting that smooth run all the way through, leading from the front, putting down the pace, not being bothered by what's going on around you.
No, definitely not. And the consistency that Saya Sakakibara has shown, just building into that speed, that's allowed her to take the fastest lap of the weekend with a 32.174. But Saya Sakakibara certainly putting an exclamation point on her fantastic season.
Well, dominance by Sakakibara at the end with 2 wins out of 2. The same for our men's race winner Arthur Pillard, and taking those fastest laps as well as the World Championship title and the wins in the very final round of the UCI BMX Racing World Cup for 2025. Don't forget all of the race results, all of the standings available on www.uci.org, and of course all of the disciplines covered by the UCI, the governing body of cycle sport worldwide. All of those details on that website as well, from BMX racing through pump track, right the way through mountain biking, indoor cycling, esports, you name it, it's all covered by the team at the UCI. Great BMX racing here in the World Cups. It's been an astounding season, and I've got to say, I've really enjoyed coming back to Santiago del Estero. It has definitely thrilled from start to finish. Let's take a little bit of a look back at some of the moments from a weekend here in Argentina. Well, here at Santiago del Estero, the world champions came out to play. The challengers came out to play. Everybody wanted to take away the wins. Lots of riders with points to prove. A number of riders without a win coming into this. But my goodness me, it came right down to the line time and time again. Great crowds, great racing, great track.
Yeah, it certainly was. And I think it's just proved that BMX racing at the highest level is one of the most exciting sports in the world. And then you have stories like Alexandra Simashkina picking up her very first World Cup win as a neutral athlete. There's been so much drama, so many storylines. It's been amazing to watch and amazing to be a part of.
And the under-23 competition, the future is bright. It might be orange, it might be from the Netherlands in terms of Vissing and in terms of Noordam, but behind them there is a whole multitude of nations queuing up to really put the next generation of riders forward and challenge and really change the standings in those elite standings when they move into the elite competition, where they're taking on the likes of Saya Sakakibara and Arthur Pillard.
Yeah, I just like the fact that there's so many nations coming through with so many strong riders. Countries like France, the Netherlands, Australia, and then you've got the emerging nations coming through as well, you know, South America and that kind of thing. There's so much that BMX has got to offer, and the World Cup is just the best stage for it all.
Well, this track now going to be rested. It's not on the circuit or not on the World Cup for 2026. It's going to have a break. It's going to have lots of great racing, I'm sure, as the World Cup continues. All the dates for the up-and-coming World Cup next year are going to be on that UCI website. Santiago del Estero is always a blast to go to. It always produces great racing. It's going to be sadly missed from the circuit next year.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. It's one of the riders' favourites. You know, it always delivers the best racing. The fans are amazing. We can't ask anything more from a South American World Cup.
So our riders battling it out in those World Cups from round number 1 to round number 6. The final point standings confirmed for you here on the screen. The full standings at uci.org online. Don't forget to pick those up from the website. Arthur Pillard taking away the series win from Sylvain Andre and Cameron Wood, with Eddie Clerty moving into 4th place with Rico Berman rounding out your top 5 in the men's competition. In the women's elite competition, Sayas Kakibara taking another win in the World Cup by taking those 2 final rounds, as we saw Arthur Pilar do as well. Laura Smulders back on fire, on form, taking 2nd place in the series overall from Molly Simpson in 3rd, Zoe Clayson's in 4th, and Bethany Shriver rounding out the top 5 for 2025 in the UCI BMX Racing World Cup Women's Elite standings. In the men's under-23 standings, Jason Nordham has shown just what a force he is to be reckoned with, ahead of Matthew Shake, whose round 5 really propelled him into that 2nd place, untouchable by Joshua Jolly, the rider who took away 3rd. In the women's under-23, Michelle Vissing couldn't make it a perfect score, not taking the win in round number 6, but 5 wins to her name. Absolutely indomitable throughout the season. Great racing all season long by Lily Greenhoff, taking 2nd, and Emily Hutt rounding out the top 3 in our women's under-23 World Cup standings at the end of round number 6 here in Santiago del Estero in Argentina. All of those standings and the full results on the UCI website. That's www.uci.org. It's been an absolute pleasure and an honour putting words to the action with the one and only Rich Eames. Rich, thank you very much. Another World Cup series done and dusted. I'm already looking forward to next year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to 2026 as well. It's going to be an absolute scorcher of a season.
I hope you're going to join us. But from Rich and me and all the team who make it happen behind the scenes, stay safe. We'll see you next year.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.